Welcome, everybody, to a brand new episode of the Vantage Point Podcast. Anthony Manai here speaking. This is a show where I break down the quotes, original quotes that I came up with, the quotes in the posts that I put up on social media. I break it down here on this show. I give you the details of it, what I really mean, what I'm talking about. And if you're brand new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. We're building this thing up. The likes matter, the comments matter, the subscribers, you subscribing to the channel matters. I know some of you just see my name pop up on your screen and you're just like, you just click it or you click the link in my Instagram. Please subscribe to the channel. It will mean so much to me. I would truly appreciate that. With that being said, let's jump into today's show. The quote we are breaking down today, fam, is nothing creates more unnecessary problems than an uninterested mind. Boredom is the reason why most things come to an end and why most things begin. Curiosity keeps the mind sharp, alive, interested, and alert. Boredom will either dull the mind or inspire it. Boredom is very, very interesting to me because you can either change your life because of boredom or you can get more dull and sluggish. It's just depending on your perspective on it, right? 90% of the moves you make come from boredom. 90%, right? Just think about what inspired an action, what inspired a move, what inspired a thought, what inspired you to make a certain decision. And a lot of people are operating out of boredom. But now let's just break it down. Let's observe boredom together for the first time, right? You and I right now, fresh mind. Let's observe boredom without the label, without the word, without the definition. What is it? What is actually happening? I am not consumed by anything strong enough to keep my attention. And anything that I go down to, or any route that I go down, or anything that I do at the moment, it's not grabbing my attention. There's nothing I can think of that can grab my attention. That's when somebody would say, "Ah, man, I'm bored," or "I got nothing to do," or think about what led to that point, though. What led to the point where one is not truly consumed by something in their life, right? Complacency has a lot to do with it. One has settled psychologically, right? For the position they're in. One has a conclusion that they have no intention to change. So with as long as that conclusion is there, the result is this, right? The result is complacency, the result is dullness, the result is sluggishness, right? No real excitement. One gets bored because one has this conclusion, oh, I can't really make these decisions because this conclusion is there. Many times a label, right? So when we say conclusions, is this thing that's just what is. In one's mind, it's not what is, but in one's mind, it becomes their reality that this is it, right? Oh, for example, oh, I got this job that you're never going to leave, right? I got this 9 to 5 job. I'm never going to quit. I have this business. I'm never going to quit. I have this marriage. I'm never going to leave. And that's it. That's a conclusion. I'm never leaving. That's not even a thought. I'm never quitting. I'm never moving. That's not even a thought. So one now lives a lifestyle of complacency, right? No matter what happens within this conclusion, one will just accept whatever it is, right? I'm the thought of leaving this marriage, no matter how physically, mentally, emotionally, financially abusive it is, I am not leaving. I am loyal. The thought is not even there, right? The thought of leaving your home, and moving out to a different state or a different country is not even there. Conclusions, right? There's a conclusion. I have no intention to address this. When I think about change, I don't even think about changing that conclusion. It is what it is. It's already there. I overlook it anytime I'm looking for the root cause to a problem. And a lot of times, because that conclusion is there, right, is the reason to why all these problems are happening to begin with. That's why you can offer the solution to somebody and they get upset and pissed off because the solution will require a ending of the conclusion or a challenging of the conclusion, right? And for most people, when they have that in place and it's already solidified, one becomes complacent, right? They get complacent in their life, and with that complacency, one is no longer sharp, one is no longer alert, right? One becomes a bit dull, one takes it easy, a bit lazy, right? And a lot of things with dullness and sluggishness, it it kills passion. It kills alertness, it kills sharpness, it kills urgency. So now you have a dull, sluggish mind living with conclusions. Boredom becomes a way of life. I need something to do. I need something to spice things up in my life. I need some real change, something to consume me for the moment. I am bored. I need things to do in my life. I need more hobbies, or I need to jump into a relationship. I need to go on dating apps. I need to go on, I need to go meet new people. I need to go traveling a little bit more. But nothing's ever fulfilling, right? Because there's a conclusion there that's doling the mind, right? And for a lot of people, it's silly to put an end to a conclusion. It's silly to put an end to something, right? That's bringing the most comfort in one's life. It's silly for people. For some people, they actually, for most people, they actually see that putting an end to a conclusion is actually more of a problem than a solution, right? So I know we're getting really nerdy on this episode, but we need to break this down because I find it extremely important for us to understand that as long as that's there, boredom is going to be a way of life. And now one searches for temporary happiness, right? They wonder why they're sad, or they wonder why they're a bit dull. They wonder why they're a bit sluggish. They wonder why they're always bored. Nothing really consumes them and they're always searching for something. Now they look to overstimulate themselves. People start creating these side missions because the main one, they have no intention to address that. So there's all these side missions, and we call it distractions. But in actuality, it's attention being pulled in many different areas because we want something to consume us. This is why people love drama. This is why people love problems. People love, just spicing things up, right? So a lot of unnecessary problems come from boredom because most people want something to do. So now let's look at it in your life. Let's look at your life. Let's look at how many moves you make out of straight up boredom, right? How you're making permanent decisions on temporary feelings, right? And then you make these permanent decisions, or you go down these rabbit holes that the intention is not in the right place. People are starting businesses out of boredom just for something to do. Then they wonder why there's no money coming in, right? It's like, I'm bored, so I started a business just to see if I can do something on the side. And then it's like, what it requires to actually do that, I'm not interested, right? So what it requires to do that, I'm not interested. So people start that and they wonder why they fail. Excuse me. And they get into relationships out of boredom, wondering why that's not succeeding and what it takes when the hard work comes in. One says, let me get out of it, right? They start new hobbies, they start new different things out of straight boredom. So, again, these are things that you have to see within your life. And if you're questioning it, have I started these things out of boredom? And you're questioning it, listen, you got to look at your life and look at your life and look at the conclusions that you have no intention to address or change. The things that you completely overlook about yourself, where you say, no, I'm not doing that. That's silly, right? But think about, as long as that's there, a lot of the problems you're going through is inevitable. A lot of the moves you make are inevitable because of the things you are unwilling to change about yourself. This is a never ending game of adjustments. If you're not constantly making adjustments in your life, fam, then you're going to get dull and you're going to be sluggish, and you're not going to have that excitement because you're not paying attention to the details. When there's passion, when there's urgency, when there's alertness, when there's something that you're really consumed by, again, passion is energy. Passion is energy. And to have that energy, to be consumed by something, right, there's got to be some type of love there. Love has to be the foundation. So, this is why boredom is the reason why most things come to an end and why most things begin, right? A lot of things, think about, I don't want to do this anymore. This is boring. And, right? Or, you know what? I'm bored. I need to spice some things up. Let's do something new. And then you begin something new, right? But here's the interesting part of this whole quote, or this whole, quote and caption, right? Is that boredom will either dull the mind or inspire it. See, something about boredom. can really, really, really change your life. You can use it to your advantage. It can bring awareness to the moves you've been making up to this point. It could bring awareness to the things that you've just accepted without question, the things that you've settled for, the lifestyle you settled for, the people you've settled for. It brings awareness. It's like, oh man, I'm doing these things. I'm not taking enough risk in life. It could bring awareness of what you have no intention to do. Just think about it, right? Damn, I have no intention to get out this environment. I have no intention to put an end to this. I have no intention to question this psychological comfort. I have no intention to question these things or do these things out of a fear that I have, right? Out of a conditioning that I have, right? I'm unwilling to address these things. I'm unwilling to see it for myself, or a fear that I've just accepted without question, right? Oh, I have this fear. Okay, cool, whatever. That's it. That's just going to be there forever. So, all these things, you really caged yourself in. You're creating your own limitations in your mind. Think about that. Think about the limitations in your own mind that you have created that you may not be aware of, that's keeping you in the position you are in. Boredom can bring awareness to that. It's like boredom can show your intentions. It's like you're sitting around with there's so much life to live. There's so much beauty in this world. There's so much things that you can do and you're bored. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you don't say it out loud, I'm bored. Your energy, your attitude towards life, your lifestyle. It's like a lot of people live boring lives. Think about it. And then that creates unnecessary problems. That creates unnecessary problems. Again, the boredom will either dull the mind or inspire it. There's a lot of people that look at it and say, oh, what am I going to do next? And chase temporary happiness. And there's others who look at their life and say, I got to make a change. I have to do something different. This is no longer working for me. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of living this way. I'm sick and tired of living life where I'm just allowing life to happen to me. There's no direction, there's lack of meaning, there's no passion, there's no love. I'm not consumed by anything that's really just has all of my attention, right? For a lot of people, they sit around wondering like, oh man, they feel very lonely psychologically, feel very lonely because there's nothing that's consuming them, right? So look at your life. Look at some of the things you've accepted about your life that you have no intention to change. I guarantee, and I said this in the last episode, I guarantee that if you question it, right? If you jump into the unknown, if you make certain changes in your life, if you do what's uncomfortable to do, right? The uncomfortable decision, you will see, oh shit, your mind will open up. You will grow. You're allowing yourself to grow. Some of you don't allow yourself to grow. When it comes down to making that tough decision, you look for reasons to why you can't instead of reasons to why you can. If you start changing things up and saying, you know what, man, let me just really, really address this fear. Let me really question this conclusion that's there. Let me observe it. Let me see if that serves me. Some of your conclusions about life no longer serve you, yet you still hold on to them. And you wonder why you're stuck in the same place. You wonder why there's boredom. You wonder why you're just dragging through life. Some people like it. Some people like it. Some people like it. I've learned that. I've learned that some people just like not showing up for themselves. They like to do the bare minimum. They don't like doing what's healthiest for the body and mind. Some people like that because that lifestyle comes with something. There's a benefit to every way that people live. There's a benefit. This is why people hold on to it, right? Oh, I don't have to address a fear. Okay, cool. Let me not do it. Let me do it my way. Let me do it this way, right? Let me do the bare minimum. Oh, I don't have to get uncomfortable. I don't really have to do a lot of work. I don't have to, oh, someone else will take care of me like this. Someone else will give me attention. People are prioritizing different things. And again, you're living the results of your priorities. Your lifestyle is based on what you physically and psychologically prioritize. So everything, how you're living, how you're moving, you're caring about all these different things and many different avenues. You have conclusions here, limitations here. You have so many things that are going on in your life that if you don't understand any of it, right, you're thinking life is happening to you. You're thinking, oh, this is just happening, and this is not my control. But fam, you are influencing the future towards a direction. And this show, my content, my podcast, my post just brings awareness to that. My goal is just to bring awareness to how you've been living and how you've been moving, right? And for some people, it's uncomfortable. For some people, it's inspiring. For some people, it's revealing. They get pissed off about it, right? And for others, they're like, well, I'm just listening because it's entertaining. So, depending on why you are listening to this, it also brings awareness to what you care about, right? What do you want, fam? Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you living the life that you are living? What are some things about your life that you have no intention to change? Some of you have already given up on yourself. You think it's over. You think the game is over. You've already quit on yourself. I'm getting too old. I'm not, you know what? It's too late for me. For real, like who am I to do these things now? It's like some of you have given up on yourself. Some of you have accepted a conclusion about yourself for so long, a story about yourself for so long. To take the first step is like, there's so much resistance towards that. Right. So then you hope and wish and you pray and you sit down crossing your fingers, man. Oh, one day becomes more important than day one. But I challenge you, fam, to choose day one. I challenge you at this very moment to look at your life in a real way and say, what changes do I need to make? And make them. I guarantee you will see the world from a totally different perspective. You want to talk about instant transformation? You want to talk about instant life changing things? Life, you want to talk about instantly changing the course of your life forever? Change your priority, challenge your priority, change your perspective. Stop giving up on yourself. It's not over, fam. It's not over. Day becomes more important than day one. But I challenge you, fam, to choose day one. I challenge you at this very moment to look at your life in a real way. Ever change your priority. Sorry, fam. So the camera cut off at the end. Let me finish it off with this is your life. This is your life. Some of you have already given up. Some of you have already called it quits. Some of you have already said it's over. But listen, man, if you have a moment of inspiration, if you're listening to this and your body's somewhat shaking a little bit, your heart is pumping and you're looking at it and you understand what I'm saying, I challenge you, fam. I really, really just challenge you to do something different, and how almost impossible it is for most people because of the stories and the conclusions and what we talked about during the show. It's like, man, you really can make changes. You really can do something different. You're just afraid, right? No matter what age you are, no matter what has happened to you in the past, the next 5 years of your life can look completely different than the last five. So I love you guys. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for listening in. And I apologize for the technical difficulties. If you found this valuable, leave a comment below. Share it with somebody you know. And we're rapping and rapping and we're rapping and we gotta go. So love you, fam. Peace.